duties enshrined under the Part 4A of the Constitution. Originally, the fundamental duties were not provided in the Constitution. It was added to the Constitution by the 42nd Amendment in 1976 upon the recommendation of the Swaran Singh Committee that was constituted by the Government of India. The committee suggested that steps needed to be taken to ensure that the individual did not overlook his duties while in exercise of his fundamental rights. By way of 42nd Constitutional Amendment, a new chapter Part 4A was consist of only one article, that is Article 51A, was added to the Constitution, which dealt with a code of 10 fundamental duties for citizens. Fundamental duties are intended to serve as a constant reminder to every citizen. While the Constitution specifically conferred on a citizen certain fundamental rights, it also requires citizens to observe certain basic norms of democratic conduct and democratic behavior, because rights and duties are correlative. Originally, 10 fundamental duties were listed. Later on, by virtue of 86th Constitutional Amendment, in the year 2002, 11th duty was added. These fundamental duties endow upon a citizen, inter alia, to abide by the Constitution, to cherish and follow the noble ideals which inspired our constitutional struggle for freedom, to defend the country and render national service when called upon to do so, and to transcending religious, linguistic and regional or sectional diversities. These duties can be enforced by means of legislation by the Parliament and not otherwise, as in the case of fundamental rights that are enforceable against the state. Fundamental duties have been incorporated in the Indian Constitution to remind every citizen that they should not only be conscious of their rights but also of their duties. Fundamental duties are applicable only to citizens and not to the aliens. India borrowed the concept of fundamental duties from the USSR. The inclusion of fundamental duties brought our constitution in the line of Universal Declaration of Human Rights, that is Article 29 Clause 1. Directive principles of state policy and fundamental duties need to be read together. Both have moral obligation on the state and citizens respectively. Fundamental duties do not have any legal sanction for its violation. There are 6 positive duties which are expected to be done by the citizens of our country. The other remain 5 are negative duties which are not expected to be carried out by the citizens. There is no legal enforceability for its breach. It is because of the nature of fundamental duties. We can clearly understood that it is practically impossible to enforce these duties. However, it is no longer correct to say that fundamental duties enshrined in the Article 51A are not enforceable and mere reminder. Fundamental duties have the element of compulsion regarding compliances. A number of judicial decisions speak about the enforcement of certain classes of fundamental duties enshrined in the Article 15(1)(a). Hence, a comprehensive legislation is needed for the classes A, C, E, G and I. The remaining 5 classes, which are exaltation of basic human values, have to be developed amongst citizens through the education system from primary level of education to the higher and professional levels. Enforcement of fundamental duties. It is important to know that fundamental duties are only enforceable for the citizens holding public offices. It is possible by way of departmental rules of conduct and by making suitable legislations. There are appropriate sanction for the breach of fundamental duties in the public offices. For example, Section 3 of the Prevention of Insults to the National Honor Act 1971. The Prevention of Insults to the National Honor Act 1971 is the act prevents the citizens of our country from dishonoring the country. It includes dishonoring the national flag, Constitution of India. Therefore, these are reasonably enforceable. Section 3 of this act talks about the prevention of singing of national anthem. All the citizens should be punished if they intentionally prevent the singing of national anthem or causes disturbance to an assembly which is busy in such singing. For instance, if a person starts making noise in a place where an assembly is doing the national anthem, he would be punished under this article. In a recent case, Shyam Narayan Chowkse versus Union of India, in which Honorable Justice Deepak Mishra, Honorable Justice Roy passed an interim order making it mandatory to play the national anthem before screening of each movie, making it compulsory for all viewers to stand still during the national anthem. In MC Mehta versus Union of India, Supreme Court held that the fundamental duty given in the Article 51A(g), it is the duty of every citizen to protect and preserve the natural environment. Natural environment includes forests, rivers, lakes and wildlife. Further, a healthy environment is an essential element of the welfare of any society. Article 51(g) was enforced by the Supreme Court. In this case, sewage water was being discharged into the river Ganga on a daily basis in the biggest city of Kanpur, which is on the bank of river Ganga. The petitioner MC Mehta filed public interest litigation against municipal bodies and industries in Kanpur were the main reason for polluting the river. Supreme Court was taken the judgment against Kanpur National Mahapalike and municipal boards because it is their responsibility to maintain and protect the environment in the area of Kanpur. It is suggested that a few more fundamental duties, namely duty to vote in the election, duty to pay taxes and duty to resist injustice may be added in future. Fundamental duties and aid to the interpretation of constitutional provisions. Both Article 21A and Article 51AK talk about the education of child between the age 6 to 14 years, while Article 21A put the obligation on the state to see that no one is deprived of the right to education. On the other hand, Article 51AK makes the duty of the citizen to make sure that no children are deprived of going to school. Thus, here ultimate aim of the constitutional provision under Article 21A providing education to children is achieved by this fundamental duty. Thus, here by this illustration, we can clearly understand that fundamental duties helps in the interpretation of any constitutional provision. Take another instance, Article 21, which talks about the right to life and personal liberty, is achieved by Article 51A(g). 51A(g) talks about it shall be the duty of every citizen of India to protect and improve the natural environment, including forests, lakes, rivers and wildlife, and to have compassion towards living creatures. Right to life and personal liberty includes right to healthy environment. Supreme Court explained that right to life means right to have clean environment. Also talking about Article 51(g), it makes the duty of the citizen to protect and improve the natural environment. Thus, here also we can see that the right of citizen to get a healthy environment is the ultimately achieved by making it the fundamental duty of the citizen. Rights and duties are interdependent. They go together. Duties without rights leads to slavery. Rights without duties create condition of anarchy in the society. An ideal citizen of a democracy must be conscious of his right as well as his duties. The following duties contained in Article 51A states that it shall be the duty of every citizen of India to abide by the Constitution and respect its ideals and institution, the national flag and national anthem, to cherish and follow the noble ideals which inspired our national struggle for freedom, to uphold and protect the sovereignty, unity and integrity of India, to defend the country and render service when called upon to do so, promote harmony and spirit of common brotherhood among all the people of India, transcending religious, linguistic, regional diversities, to renounce the practices derogatory to the dignity of women, to value and preserve the rich heritage of our composite culture, to protect and improve the natural environment including forest, wildlife, and to have compassion for living creatures, to develop scientific temper, humanism and spirit of inquiry and reform, to safeguard public property and avoid violence, to strive for excellence in all spheres of individual and collective activity, to provide opportunities for education of his or her child or ward between the age of 6 to 14 years. This duty was added to the Constitution by 86th Constitutional Amendment in 2002. It is to be noted that the fundamental duties are not part of a fundamental rights. These duties are appended to the Charter on Directive Principles of State Policy. Like the Directive Principles, these duties are not enforceable and justiciable in a court of law. Most of the duties are social and ethical in nature. In the road to nation building and all-round progress, it is necessary to have a great measure of discipline and order from the citizens. Students, I hope that you understood the concept of fundamental duties enshrined under Part 4A of the Constitution from A to K. Thank you.